Wow, winter is coming. It is really staying dark in the morning, and the nights are getting dark earlier. Let's get some caffeine. I mean, it's early, but it's not that early. You can see. Hey, I'll get 2 large coffee with 2 milk. That's it. Thank you. Get the video in a second. First, I gotta shave. Alright guys, that's much better. Welcome back to the channel. So today's video is a review video type thing on my excavator and the mulching head. So when I bought this, I've mentioned before, I had no idea what to expect. I bought a smaller machine, you know, more versatile, easier to haul around. I can haul it with my single rear wheel 350 and my equipment trailer, which is behind the machine. I can register my weights so that I'm not over the 26,000 pounds. So I don't need to, you know, have a special license and all that stuff, even though I do have that stuff to haul my 550 around with my 8-ton. So if you're checking in for the first time, I also have an 8-ton with a mulching head. Same model, just bigger. So I had that to compare it to. Sorry, I'm battling mosquitoes here like crazy right now. So I have that to compare it to. So when I bought this machine, I just didn't know what to expect. And the mulching head also, because the mulching head that I was looking at originally, I contacted my dealer, and it's made, you know, for these smaller machines, and it's not out yet. It's not available until, well, around now to September, which at the time was, you know, a month and a half or 2 months away. And then by the time that I get the mulcher, get it on the machine, well, my season is getting close to being over. So I ended up making some phone calls, and I talked to a few people in a different province, and they had this exact same setup on their, you know, on their 4 tons with the FAE DML HY VT75, and they said it worked really well. You know, they said you got to have your blade out in front of you in certain situations so it's not so tippy. So I bought it. You know, I bought it on a whim, not knowing what to expect, and I can tell you that I am pleasantly surprised. I did not think it was going to do near as good as what it's done. I was thinking, you know, I'd get maybe 5-6 jobs out of it, just smaller stuff, but I've been working it absolutely non-stop, like 6 to 7 days a week since I got it, and I have not been disappointed at all. First off, is this what most people's Platinum Super Duties look like? Do you think? I don't know what happened, but my bar oil jug like got a puncture, and it went everywhere inside my bed. It's everywhere. But is this what you think most Platinum work trucks, or I guess work trucks, most Platinum Super Duties look like? In the back here, we got grease. We've got, oh, what's that? SPE. We've got, you know, extra teeth, dog blankets. Yeah. Anyway, it's what my Platinum work. Again, my Platinum truck looks like. Okay. So here's the gear, guys. We have the 2020 KX-040-4, KX-040-4, with the FAE DML HY VT75. So on my 8-ton, I have a 125. So the only difference is the width. So my 125 obviously gives me a wider pass. I can do more brush at one time. That's how that all works. This thing weighs 981 pounds. I've showed that in a couple of videos before. So 981 pounds out front of a small machine, you know, you would think would be extremely tippy. You know, when you're comparing it to what, 150, 100 pounds maybe for one of the buckets, the landscape bucket or just the normal dig bucket. But again, I can tell you that I am pleasantly surprised. I typically just like my 8-ton, I run with my blade behind me because one thing, you can get closer, and me and every operator I've ever had hired have swung around and hit the corner of the blade and broken a tooth holder off of the mulcher. If you don't have the blade in front, you don't have that worry. And also, it gives you a little bit more counterweight in the back. Obviously, if you're going down a hill, you're on some rough terrain, you might need to put the blade in front of you, put it down in that situation, but typically I run it behind me. With my 8-ton, it is the angle blade, so it sticks out further and it definitely weighs more, but this still does give me a little bit of counterweight. So as far as the machine goes, it has roughly 180 hours on it, and I've had no issues with it whatsoever, which you shouldn't. You know, just greasing it, change the oil in it. The fuel filters is one thing I found with my 8-ton that I need to keep an eye on and keep them changed on a regular basis. We'll see how the fuel filter works on this. I honestly haven't even looked to see how many there is, because on my 8-ton there's 2 fuel filters. We'll see what there is here. A lot of guys always want to know how it's plumbed, so I'll give you a look on how this is plumbed. So on my 8-ton I have a secondary and a primary line. On this one I only have one line. So we have a diverter valve on each side of the boom that directs the flow to the mulcher or to the thumb. And it's all controlled off of one joystick, of course, versus my 8-ton has 2 joysticks, so I don't need to worry about anything with that. It's just my auxiliary selector on my display. It's extremely dirty right now. I actually like to keep my excavators quite clean because you're sitting in there for like 10 hours a day. You don't want to be looking at a bunch of grime. So this one definitely needs a clean. So I'll be doing that, you know, this week. So working in the bush, I'll show you guys down here in a second. This is one of the worst sites I've ever worked on. You know, you get dinged up a little bit. So I've got a few scratches on it already on my counterweight. You know, there's one here, there's one back there. And my wife seen the machine the other day. She's like, man, you got scratches on it already. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I work in the bush, in tight situations. There's boulders, there's rocks, there's trees. It's not just sitting along the side, it's just not sitting alongside the highway. So, any problems with the mulcher? The only problem with the mulcher that I had, I posted a picture on Instagram. I broke this hydraulic line right here. It actually broke right at the elbow. That's where it broke. So I had to replace that, which was an absolute pain in the butt, and I will tell you why. So when that broke and it let go, my gate was opened all the way up. So there's no flow going to this cylinder to open and close the gate. And to get at that hose, you could take this door off. But because the gate was up, I couldn't get at that door. So I took the top door off. That helped me none. So then I took this door off, which I could see all the way in through there, but I had to take 3 other lines off of like the pump to get at the one that I needed, which was an absolute pain in the butt. There were some choice words. So that's the only thing that I've had wrong with the mulcher. That did break on my 8-ton, but it didn't break, you know, for after quite some time. So these teeth probably have, I'd say, 150 hours on them so far, and they're still on the first side. So these are the E-blade style. These are not the mulcher teeth. I run these. I find the machine runs better. It's much faster than the mulching teeth, and I don't need to be so fine with you know, these sites out in the middle of nowhere. If I'm doing someone's backyard and I need to get right down to ground level, then I'll put the carbide teeth on. But these teeth is what I choose to run, and they're reversible, so you can flip them around. These still have some life left in them. Some are better than others. This one here you can see is getting chewed up pretty good. You know, these ones here are still holding on pretty good. If you're doing, you know, like nice areas, you're gonna get a lot of hours out of your teeth. And I actually get quite a bit of hours out of my teeth too, because I try to be as cautious as I possibly can. But then you work on a site like this, and for anyone to come here and do work like this and then walk away from it is just honestly unbelievable to me. I know that probably this is what they were asked for from their client, but knowing what I know and knowing that someone has to come back here and you know, maintain this, I couldn't do it. I honestly could not walk away from a site like this. So first off, there's just boulders left absolutely everywhere. Like they were just thrown over the side. There's boulders down through here. There's boulders through there. There's no way really that if someone needs to get to that anchor, they can get to it in a vehicle. Because I actually made a pass down through here so that they can get a vehicle, you know, down and get to the anchor. Because sometimes, you know, you'll need to do that. Rigging crews will have to come in. They'll have to get to the anchor. But then when you get down here, they have a little ditch dug, which was a good idea, along the outside, because all the water is going to come down off this hill. At least with that ditch, it directs it away. But there is no way you're getting a vehicle in there at all. And then to try to maintain this, craziness. But anyway, this site is big. So the road is like half a mile long. So I do both sides of the road. I do the, you know, the hydro line coming in, all 3 anchors. It's a big site. It's a small machine. So I said I've never had anything to complain about. This is the first site I've worked on that I really wish I had my 8-ton. And the reason for that is because the power line runs alongside the road, but then there's sections where it gets too far away from the road, and then the road drops off. I can't reach to get underneath the hydro line with the 4-ton. So I'll have to get the guys to come back and clean up the lines a bit. If I had my 8-ton, I could reach. So this is the only site, and then going down through these boulders and stuff, the 8-ton, you know, wider track, steel track, all that stuff would be an advantage versus the 4-ton. So this is the first site that I've really wanted the 8-ton on, and I really could have used it. But other than that, this thing has been, honestly, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I bought this setup. And a lot of people are messaging me and saying, hey, my dealer is telling me that my 057 and my 040 will not run this mulcher. It won't. Well, watch my videos. Yes, it will. I have experience. I've been running mulchers for 5 years, you know, on bigger machines, and I'm very happy with how this performs as far as performance goes and, you know, stability of the machine. So if you're on the fence of getting into the industry, you know, starting out small with a small machine, and you're not sure if this is going to run it, this setup has been honestly awesome for me. Awesome. So I hope this helps. On the way out, I will show you the road. You know, once I have it done, it's a long road. It's rough. I honestly wouldn't call it a road. It's more like a 4-wheeler trail. It's rough. Anyway, so there's a lot of benefits and not many cons to this machine. No special license other than having to have your condition 15 here in Canada when you need to tow over 4,500 kgs. You know, smaller trailer, smaller truck, smaller machine for getting in tight areas. Obviously the 8-ton's a bit quicker. Alright guys, so I changed my mind. Instead of having to take the machine all the way down half a mile down the bottom of this hill and then have to walk back up to get the truck and show you guys the whole road going out, I'm just following behind the machine with the truck, and that way it's not so far. So I'll do, you know, maybe 1 or 2 pole lengths, then I'll bring the truck closer, so I'm not walking all at once, even though I am fat and out of shape and need the exercise. But I'll show you, you know, it's doing, you know, a really good job. It gets a long ways, and most of it I was able to get this side of the hydro line. But you can see up here where I wasn't able to. So, you know, with my 8-ton, I could sit on the shoulder of the road here and no problem reach in here and get all this stuff. But with the 4-ton, I can't quite reach this section right here, even sitting on the edge, which you can see where my tracks were. So that is a disadvantage, the only disadvantage really of this machine versus, you know, the 8-ton in certain, you know, in that aspect, I guess. But, you know, it's looking great. This was like a 4-wheeler path when I got here. But you can see now the truck's sitting in the middle of the road. They've got lots and lots and lots of room on each side to do their thing. So down here where the machine's parked now, I'll just show you quickly, you know, what it looked like before I brought the machine in. I have this side of the road done all the way to the top of the tower. So now I'm working my way out, load the machine on, and away I go. So you can see here, this is what I have left to do going down. And there's like another 10 pole lengths. So I've got 10 pole lengths of this to deal with. It obviously goes quicker when it's not the hydro side, because where it's a hydro side, I go all the way past the hydro if I can reach it. But on this side, I do 2 meters. So I'll only do 2 meters on this side where the hydro line isn't. It's obviously much, much, much quicker. And I think there's only one more section where I have to do the hydro line on this side. So it should go fairly quickly going down through here compared to this side. So you can see this section here too. I need to do that by hand because I couldn't reach this in here. You know, what I usually do is I'll just make a special path right through with the machine, but it's all boulders and stuff through here and it would just be a disaster. But anyway, folks, that is it for this video. I hope it helps. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for some goodies going on in 2020. You've seen the one SPE box in the back. There's more than one box from SPE. There's some stuff from CJC Off-Road, which Carly. What else we got? I've got some factory stuff, some protection parts to go on this truck, and some other stuff is in the works for the 2020. So stay tuned. Man, the mosquitoes are brutal. So I'm gonna put the camera down, close out this video, finish this job up, and get out of here. It's been a pretty long job. But for now, that's it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, stay tuned for more videos, and until next time, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you then. Bye.